Hello, everyone, and welcome to my monthly tarot forecast. So, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. If you're here live, say hello in the chat. I just want to take a moment to introduce myself if you don't know me. And my name is Kate. I'm also known as the Daily Tarot Girl. And I'm a tarot card reader and a tarot teacher. And I've been reading tarot for a long time now. I've lost track of how many years, but I'm thinking it's around maybe 15 to 17 years, maybe even 18 years. I'll have to do the math. Hello, welcome, Dawn. Hello, Minerva. So I'm really excited today because I have never done a monthly tarot forecast on my YouTube channel. I always do weekly tarot forecasts, but I've never done a monthly one. And I've certainly never done a tarot forecast reading live like I'm doing today. So I'm so happy to have you here. So I'm going to be doing, it's really just a small reading. I'm going to use 4 cards. I'm a big fan of the less is more approach to tarot reading. So I don't like to use tons and tons of cards in my reading. So I'm going to use 4 cards for the monthly forecast. I'm going to do that reading, and then I'm going to open it up for anyone who wants me to draw a card for them. Hello, Julie, Greta, Baby Angel, Dina, welcome, Xenia, Lizzie, Johnny, Steve, hi. All right. Okay, so I will talk about the deck that I'm going to be using today. So I'm using the Cosmic Wisdom Tarot. This is a deck by Ethany, and the artwork is by James Fenner. And this is a new deck for me, but I've been using it a lot lately. And this is what the backs of the cards look like. And the cards are beautiful. They've got rich colors, wonderful scenes. It's a really lovely deck. It's been my kind of go-to deck in the last month or so. So that's the deck I'm going to be reading with. And I'm using a 4-card spread, which is really simple. I actually just jotted it down 2 minutes ago. So I'll show it to you. Okay. So I'm going to start with the overall energy of the month ahead, so August, and then any blocks, anything that's getting in our way, helpful advice, and then actions to focus on taking. So I'm going to talk about each of those areas. And of course, if you have questions for me when I'm talking about the cards, feel free to type it in the chat. That's the beauty of being here live, is you can, if you want clarification on something, you can just ask me in the chat. Hello, Teresa. Welcome. Jamie, Art, Rose. Hello, Julie, Greta. Okay. So I'm going to shuffle my cards. And I'm just going to ask the audience, a question. Do you have any intentions for the month of August? Because it's August 2nd. We're just getting started in this new month. Do you have any intentions? And if you can sum up your intentions with just 1 or 2 words, what would it be? I don't know what my intentions are yet for August. I was going to sit down last night with my journal and journal about it and think about what my intentions are for the month ahead. And I haven't done it yet. So hopefully this reading will maybe give me some ideas. Okay, step towards a new beginning. Lizzie, new job. Julie, self-care. Yes, that's good. More exercise, less overthinking. Yeah. There's something about moving your body that helps you quiet your mind too, I find. Xenia, to get back on track with healthy eating. Calmness, clear out blocks. Bee Gees, staying alive. Okay. Greta, you said career growth. All right. So I'm just going to take a moment here to connect with my deck and just sort of breathe and ground my energy. I always like to imagine that my spine is like the trunk of a tree. Like right before I do a reading, just to ground my energy, I imagine my spine as a tree and I just send those roots down into the ground. Okay. So I'm going to ask the cards, what is the overall energy of the month ahead? And I want to preface this by saying that this is a general reading. This is kind of a general overview. The purpose of this reading is to just get kind of an idea of the themes, the different energies, the opportunities, the possibilities that might lie ahead for us in the month of August. Okay, so the card we have here as the overall energy is Three of Wands. All right. Okay. So Three of Wands, and I don't know, looks blurry on my screen. It's starting to get a little bit clearer. Okay. So this is the overall energy for the month of August. Three of Wands. Three of Wands is one of those cards that I sometimes struggle to read. I sometimes struggle to connect with this card a little bit. There's always a few, right? There's always a few cards like that. But the Three of Wands is about it's about manifestation, and whatever you're doing, we're always putting our energy out there. We're always putting our attention on certain things, working towards certain things. And then the results of that come back to us. And the Three of Wands is about seeing the results of our efforts. And some of these efforts may be intentional efforts. Some of them it's more unintentional, like on a kind of subconscious level. And I mean, we're subconsciously manifesting things all the time, right? It's not always intentional. And so the Three of Wands is about observing the things that you've manifested, either intentionally or unintentionally, and kind of taking stock and thinking, okay, do I want to keep going in that direction? Is this working, etc.? There's also an element of like enjoyment with the Three of Wands, like being able to enjoy the things that you've manifested and starting to finally see results of things. So I think that the overall energy of August is you're going to, if there's things that you've been working towards and things that you've been putting effort into, you're finally going to start to see the results. And they may be just little results, but it's enough to really motivate you and inspire you. So that's what I'm getting with the Three of Wands. This is, your ships are coming in. That's what's kind of happening on this card. This guy's looking out to sea and he's seeing, the ships coming in. So the things that you've been trying to manifest or working towards, you finally start to feel like, okay, I'm really moving the needle on this now. Things are starting to kind of pick up. I'm seeing the results. So that's a nice card to get, I think. Yeah, and Art, you said Two of Wands versus Three of Wands confuses me. Yeah, so Two of Wands is kind of about figuring out where you're going to put your energy next. So kind of taking stock of things, figuring it out. Three of Wands is where you, they're actually very similar cards in a way. But Three of Wands is where you've chosen to put your energy into something, and now you're seeing the results, whether you like those results or not. So the things that you're trying to manifest are starting to kind of come into manifestation. Okay, so that's for the overall energy. So that's nice. I like that. Let's have a look at blocks. So I'm going to ask the cards, is there anything that might get in our way this month? What are the big challenges? What are the hiccups going to be for the month of August? Because there's usually always something, right? Okay. Okay, we have Seven of Wands. All right. So for the Seven of Wands, I just want to, okay, there we go. Takes a while for my camera to figure it out and pick it up. So Seven of Wands, the big challenge this month is standing up for yourself, advocating for yourself, setting boundaries, and standing your ground on issues that are important to you. So the Seven of Wands, if I could just sum this card up, really quickly, it's about really standing your ground and being assertive um, on the things that are important to you. And this is the challenge because this is always challenging. Even if you're the kind of person who's really good at setting boundaries and being assertive, it's still challenging. So yeah, that's the challenge this month is kind of having that courage and and I think that it helps if you're if you feel stable and grounded and centered, it's easier to assert yourself. If you're feeling not that confident, you're kind of being knocked off center, you're not super grounded, then it's really difficult. And so I think it's kind of a double challenge. It's that it's not just about being assertive, standing up for yourself, speaking up for yourself, advocating for yourself, but the other challenge is to do that from a place of centeredness, connectedness, and groundedness. So that's the big challenge with the Seven of Wands. And already I'm seeing how this is showing up in my own life, how this is something that I'm struggling with already on August 2nd. Yeah. Okay. Greta, you said, I think it's an internal hiccup, maybe. Yeah. Yes. An internal hiccup. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you may find that people this month kind of try to push your boundaries a little bit, or that you feel like you may find yourself in situations where you feel like you kind of have to prove yourself, whether you actually do or that's just your own interpretation of things, I don't know, but you may find yourself like in situations where yeah, you feel like you really have to prove yourself, and maybe even the feeling like you have to really fight to keep what's already yours. So Art, you said it's going to be Saturn retrograde, Mercury retrograde, Neptune retrograde, all blocks. Yeah, and I am not really keyed into astrology and what's happening astrologically, just because I feel like I could really get into that and then I would just be obsessed with it. So I just don't even pay attention to astrology. So that's interesting that there's lots of different blocks coming up. Okay, so let's look at the next card. So this card is going to be any like helpful advice that the cards have for us. So what is going to help us the most as we move through this month of August? Six of Swords. All right. So Six of Swords is the helper card. So this is what's going to be most helpful for us for the month of August. And Six of Swords is what I call a bit of a transition card. So and I think of the Six of Swords as being one of those neutral cards. This isn't really a positive card or a negative card. It's a neutral card. The first thing I get though is you want to watch out for any kind of like grass is always greener on the other side mentality. That can really come up with the Six of Swords. So looking at someone else's life and thinking, oh, they have it so good, I want that. Or thinking, oh, if only I could move to this other city, my life would be so much better. Or if only I had this other job, things would be better. Six of Swords is saying wherever you go, you take yourself with you. And so if you've created a set of circumstances that you're unhappy with, the answer may not be to just move to another place or get another job or get another partner. It might be to resolve things as they are. So that's just food for thought. So the Six of Swords is also a card of movement and a card of transitions, moving from one place to another place. And I feel like the energy of August will almost demand that you make certain changes, that you can't just keep doing the same things over and over. It will propel you forward to make certain changes. And as I said, Six of Swords, this is a card of transition. So a few things that are going to be helpful for you this month is think about, where is it that I want to go? If metaphorically you think, okay, I'm going through life, I'm traveling, I'm on this boat in the Six of Swords. What shore do I want to land on? Where is it that I want to go? So what changes am I wanting to make, or what am I wanting to manifest, or what am I wanting to keep the same if you're happy with everything, how things are? Where is it that you're wanting to go? Is there something new that you're wanting to explore? And really kind of thinking about that this month. But really, I think the thing that's going to be helpful, other than just a willingness to, I feel like Six of Swords is about, it's a card of transition, so it's a card of change and kind of accepting changes. But more than anything, I think it's about being good with yourself. Like this idea that wherever you go, you take yourself with you. So instead of trying to always recreate the external circumstances in your life to bring you a sense of satisfaction, really going inward and feeling at home within yourself. And wouldn't normally say that about, I don't know if I've ever said that specifically about the Six of Swords, but that is just intuitively the message that I'm getting with this card. Okay. Hello, Maria. Welcome. If anyone has any questions about the cards I've drawn so far, or what I've said, feel free to to ask me in the comment section. Okay, last card. So this is the last card for our August forecast. And this is the action card. So this card is going to tell us what kinds of actions we want to focus on taking this month. Six of Wands. So we got all minor arcana cards this month, which is really interesting. So I want to talk a little bit about that before I go on to the Six of Wands. So I think of the major arcana cards as being these big archetypal energies, and they are, big events, big themes, big shifts, soul level changes, things like that. Whereas the minor arcana cards are more about kind of day-to-day life stuff. I feel like the month of August will be, and some of us, of course, will be going through big things in August, but I think overall the energy is more about kind of taking care of some of the more minor things, like doing kind of minor housekeeping kind of stuff. Yeah, okay, let's talk about Six of Wands. So this is the action card, the kinds of actions you want to focus on taking. And the woman in the Six of Wands, I can't tell if she's come back from a journey or if she's getting ready to go on a journey, but she's lighting her torch. I feel like she's getting ready to go on a ride somewhere. I know in other tarot decks, it depicts someone coming back from like a battle or something like that and coming home victorious. And so the Six of Wands is a card of, victory, having achieved something, having achieved what you set out to do, success, succeeding in something. But as an action card, I feel like this is about stoking the flames of passion for the projects that you're working on. So whatever you're working on, whatever you're focused on, or if there's something you're trying to manifest or make happen, you aren't going to be able to do it if you don't feel a certain level of passion, if you don't feel a little bit of a fire towards that thing. And so the Six of Wands is about kind of stoking those fires of passion. That isn't the traditional meaning of this card. I'm just kind of going off script here with that interpretation. But that's one action step that you want to focus on taking this month, is how can you feel more passionate about your work, your projects, whatever you're putting your time and energy into. I also get this sense of community. Like part of that stoking the fires of passion and feeling lit up about something has to do with being in community and not just doing things all on your own, but connecting with others. That's another important piece. And I do feel like that's a worthy action to take is reaching out and connecting with community this month. That is also going to be important. Community is coming through strongly with this card. And the other thing with the 6 of Wands is to practice seeing yourself as successful. Like, do you see yourself as a successful person who's capable, or do you doubt yourself a lot? And think back over, the last year, 2 years, or your entire life if you really want to get dramatic, and look back and think, "Okay, what have I succeeded at? Where have I really accomplished things? Where am I really proud of myself? Where was I really victorious and successful?" And sometimes we forget, and so reminding yourself of those things. And if there's something that you're trying to do or make happen, being able to see yourself succeeding with that, like really get that like visual as well as like that feeling. I also feel like this card is about connecting to your why. Like asking yourself, why am I putting my energy into this thing? Why do I want to manifest this? Why do I want to change this thing? Why am I doing the things I'm doing? Getting clear on what your why is and connecting it to what you're passionate about. Okay. Maria, you said, I'm late. Can anyone tell me the name of the deck? Oh, yeah. Okay. Cosmic Wisdom. Cosmic Wisdom Tarot by Ethany. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about the cards that we got? And I'm just going to hold them all up so you see them all together at the same time. So these are the cards for August. All minor arcana cards and all wands except for the 6 of swords. So lots of wands. This is a wandsy month. And the suit of wands has to do with like the suit of fire and energy, passion, creativity, spirit. The suit of wands is the most spiritual suit. It's very energetic. And it kind of goes nice with the month of August because August is a summer month. It's kind of fiery. There's lots of fires around where I live in August. But yeah, the suit of wands is about getting clear energetically and again, like finding that passion and that fire for things. Okay, Spoopy, yeah, you said noticing a lot of wands. Have any thoughts on that? Very wandsy. Yes, indeed. Okay, I'm gonna look at all the cards now and see if I'm noticing any similarities or themes other than the fact that they're all wands. So bear with me. I'm just gonna have a look here. Oh, so much water. Okay, look at this. And this is interesting because 2 of the wands cards have a ton of water in them, which you'd actually expect from cups. Okay, let's see. Okay, so see how 3 of wands has an ocean, 7 of wands has an ocean, 6 of swords, they're on water. So much water. That's crazy, hey? And water has to do with, like usually I associate water with the suit of cups, so it has to do with emotions and feelings. But in this case, we have the ocean, which I feel like, to me, that feels like possibility. And then there's this like idea of diving into the ocean, like going into your unconscious or your subconscious. So lots of interesting symbols there. There's like a certain vastness to the ocean that is interesting. So I do feel like there's a lot of possibilities being hinted at with these cards. It's very subtle, but the first card, which was the overall energy, 3 of wands, I do feel like this is a card of possibility. I think I originally said it's about, noticing the things that you're trying to manifest are starting to take form. But it's also as that happens, as the things that you're trying to manifest and putting your energy into, as they start to take shape, you start to see what's possible. It starts to feel more real to you. And Seven of Wands is what is possible? What is possible when you start to assert yourself, when you start to stand your ground, when you say, I'm not going to put up with this anymore. I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm going to really advocate for myself here. I'm going to ask for what I need. I'm going to ask for what I want. Like, what could be possible if you start doing that? If you start living from that place? And what could be possible if you really connect your actions in the world to your passions and what you're passionate about? And if all the actions you took came from that place of feeling fired up and passionate, what would be possible? And what is possible making this transition, making a transition going from point A to point B? Think of all the possibilities. So, yeah, lots of overall, I feel like there is this, it's not so much a fiery energy with these cards, but a watery energy. And this idea of this vast ocean, and so much is possible in the month of August. Now, I know myself, I'm probably not going to, I might see the possibilities, but I may not explore every single possibility, and that's okay. So, Meta, you said, is she doing this as a collective reading? Yes, I am. This is a general kind of overall monthly forecast. Yeah, crossing and exploring the ocean. Yes. Okay. 2 sixes. Do you feel like there's something in that? Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah. Okay. 6 of Swords. Good question. Okay. 6 of Swords and 6 of Wands. So, yeah, whenever I see two numbers that are the same in a reading, I like to read these two cards together because I feel like there's kind of a connection. So, with both the 6 of Swords and 6 of Wands, they're going in the same direction, and both depict a journey of some sort, kind of going on a journey, going on an adventure. The sixes are, I'm just trying to think of the other sixes. Six of Cups, Six of Swords, Six of Pentacles. I do feel like the sixes are often cards of transition, particularly these two cards. And also Six of Cups and Pentacles, I feel like is more about balance, whereas Six of Wands, Six of Swords, I feel like it's more about moving forward and transition. So I do feel like we're going to be moving forward. And for many of us, August will be a month of transition, transitioning into a new way of living, maybe even a more assertive way of being in the world. But it's going to feel subtle. It's not going to be like, I don't think it's going to be like, it's going to feel more subtle, less intimidating, a little bit more doable, and more gentle, like this gentle kind of transition, which that's nice, I think. Okay. All right. So that has been your monthly forecast reading. If you have any questions about that reading, feel free to ask me. But I want to open the floor now to doing one card readings for anyone who wants me to pull a card for them. So I'm actually debating whether I should just put these cards back in the deck or leave them out. I think what I'm going to do is actually just write them down, because I think it's going to be really interesting to see for the people I do one card readings for. It will be interesting to see how your one card reading kind of intersects with the month overall. So bear with me. I'm just going to jot down the cards that I got here, because knowing me, I will forget. Okay. So, Maria, you said the idea that I get is use all your energy to burn your impulses or act on all the emotions. Don't let things get stagnant. Yeah, that's an interesting way of looking at it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so Chris, I'm going to put your question on the screen. Okay. So, for many months, I've been working on goals regarding my health, and despite my positive actions, things are not quite progressing. I'm presently feeling very discouraged. Any guidance? Okay, let's see what the cards have to say for you, Chris. I can relate to this. So I've also spent many months working on a health issue and not really getting anywhere. And recently I finally did make huge progress. But I know that feeling where you're like, maybe putting a lot of money and time and energy and effort and making changes, and it's not really, you're not seeing results. It can be really challenging. Okay. Okay, so the card you got, Three of Wands. so one of the cards we got for August. Okay. So Three of Wands is about seeing results from your actions. So a question I have for you, because you said you've been working on these goals, and despite your actions, things aren't progressing. Can you find little signs of progress though? Like maybe you haven't totally shifted something. There's been no big changes, but I encourage you to look for the tiny changes, look for the little things, because those are the first things that you will notice. I remember when I first started weightlifting, and it took a long time before I saw any results, but I started to notice little results, and it was those little things that kept me going and eventually led to bigger gains and bigger results. So you say that your things aren't quite progressing, but I suspect, and this card kind of suggests that things have progressed, just not in a big way yet. Not yet. And yeah, so the advice of the Three of Wands is, and you may have to really get your magnifying glass out and really look closely at your life. And have you been keeping a journal? That's another thing, because that's a great way to track progress and track changes. And what I've noticed is when I journal things, you will actually, it's easier to see the progress. If you're not journaling and you're not keeping track of things, sometimes progress goes unnoticed and it just becomes the new normal, and you don't really realize how much progress you've made. So that's a couple suggestions I have is start a journal, start tracking, progress, and really get that magnifying glass out and look closely, to see, have you made small bits of progress? Like, has there been some small wins? And the Three of Wands also just gives you encouragement, and it's saying, and this is cool that this was also the card that came up in the general reading for August. But the Three of Wands is saying things will be changing. You're going to start seeing results. Just be patient. It's not all for nothing. You will start to see some results pretty soon. Probably this month, I'm guessing. Okay, thanks for your question, Chris. I hope that was helpful. Oh, and I just want to say, I am offering private, personalized tarot readings right now. So this isn't something that I offer year round. I only offer these in January and then in the summer, in July, August. So if you want a summer tarot reading, this is a 30-minute recorded reading. I use 9 cards. You can find out all the details. I'm just going to put a link to where you can get more info if you're interested. I'm just going to put it in the comments. Okay, hold on a sec. Order your reading today. Okay, I'm going to post it. If you're interested, check it out. If not, that's okay. I'm only going to be offering them until next Friday. So for one more week, and then I won't offer private readings again until next year. So if you want a reading from me, now is the time. Okay, thank you, Art. Thank you so much. Okay. Um, okay. I'm just reading all the comments here. All right, so I'm gonna pull a card for Julie. Okay, so Julie, I'm just gonna put you on the screen here. You'd love a card. Okay. Let me reshuffle my deck here. So a card for Julie. Nine of Wands. This card is coming up so frequently for people this year as I'm doing my summer private readings. This is the most popular card. This is the one that's coming up a lot. So lucky you, Julie, you got it too. So Nine of Wands, this card is about resiliency and really moving forward despite any obstacles, despite if something is challenging, being able to power through and being able to have faith in yourself, even if you have self doubts. So sometimes we lack confidence, we doubt ourselves, we maybe have had bad experiences in the past and we worry about those things being repeated, and that keeps us frozen and still and not moving forward. But the Nine of Wands is about moving forward despite that. So being able to feel confident and believing in yourself and having doubts. It's okay. You can have both of those things at the same time. But ultimately, Nine of Wands is a card of resiliency. And it's telling you that you maybe you've messed up in the past. Maybe you have certain wounds or things that are holding you back and slowing you down, but they aren't going to stop you. You're going to be able to move forward and go where you want to go and achieve what you want to achieve despite those things. It's also a card of healing. So the guy in this card, he's got a bandage on his head. He's got one leg. And even if your injuries aren't slowing you down, and when I say injuries, I don't necessarily mean physical injuries, but even if the wounds, whether they're emotional wounds, psychological, spiritual, physical, even if they aren't slowing you down, you shouldn't ignore them. So the Nine of Wands is still a card of healing. And when it comes up in a reading, it's saying there's something that needs your attention and your healing. And don't ignore it. Don't be like one of those like athletes or runners that injure themselves and they just slap a band-aid on and keep going because winning the race is more important, and then they've totally messed their bodies up for the rest of their lives. Don't be like that. Don't ignore an injury. You need to take care of yourself. Even though you're strong and resilient, your strength and resilience doesn't mean that you don't need healing and care, and you should still show yourself kindness. I guess that's what I'm getting with this card. Okay. Thank you, Julie, for letting me pull a card for you. Okay. All right, so Lilacs Adore. Okay, I feel like I need to adjust my camera. Okay. I have many changes happening, career growth, relationships ending. I feel lonely and scared. Any advice on navigating these changes? All right, let me just have a little sip of water here. Okay, Lilacs Adore. I'm going to draw a card for you. Any advice on navigating these changes? Okay. So the card I got for you is Page of Swords. So Page of Swords is definitely It's so weird how my camera is like the opposite of what's real. You know what I mean? How it's like not a mirror. Okay, so Page of Swords. I just want my camera to focus on it. There we go. Okay. So Page of Swords, I feel kind of reflects where you're at, where you're feeling. The Page of Swords, she's on kind of shaky ground. There's a lot of chaos and change happening. And she's just trying to find a sense of stability amongst all that change and all that chaos. So feeling lonely and scared. I mean, that's the Page of Swords to a T, I think. So I feel like this card is just saying kind of where you're at. Let's draw another card because I feel like that card was being like, okay, this is this is what's going on. And I feel like with the Page of Swords, like the Page of Swords is trying to find a sense of mental stability and mental clarity. And the Page of Swords is learning how to use the power of her mind, the power of her thoughts, the power of her beliefs, her perspective, her focus, how to use that to her advantage. So that's one thing to kind of, that's some food for thought, but I want to draw another card for you. Three of Wands. Weird. This is the third time it's come up. Okay. So what I get from the Three of Wands, and this is interesting for those of you who are watching because you're going to get to see me read the same card in three different situations. So the Three of Wands, what I'm getting here for you is that the changes that are happening right now in your life, the career growth, the relationships ending, these are all things that on some level I think you've wanted and you've had an active hand in creating. And now it's happening. And maybe for a long time you've thought, "Oh, this will never happen." Well, now it's finally happening. Things are changing, things are shifting, and it is overwhelming. And I think sometimes it's nice to think of yourself as being in the driver's seat. So even if you're feeling lonely, you're feeling scared, knowing that you are the creator in your life. And even when things happen that's, outside of your control, you do have a lot of control on how you face challenges, how you deal with things. This is kind of where the Page of Swords comes in. You have the power of like the way you look at something, the perspective that you see something through, the way you frame something is really powerful. And so I think this time of change where you're finally starting to manifest some of the things you've been working on, it's nice to maybe reframe that. So if you're thinking, oh God, this time in my life is lonely and I'm so scared, just reframing that as like, this is an exciting time of growth and change and shifting. And it does feel chaotic, but there's also a lot of new energy here. There's a lot of potential for growth. And I think reframing it is going to be really helpful for you. But just know that you may feel a little unstable right now. So taking good care of yourself. I think self-care is important here. If you can't find a sense of stability outside of yourself, like it's a brand new uh career growth. Okay, you didn't say new job, but career growth. So things are changing career wise. Relationships are ending. So your light, the things around you are changing and they aren't stable. So trying to find a sense of stability, going inward to find that sense of stability, whether that's through meditation, breathing techniques, daily habits that help you bring that sense of stability. So having some kind of a routine, like a daily routine, will give you that feeling of stability that you might be craving right now. Thank you so much for your question. I hope that was helpful for you. Okay. I want to do this one. Oh, and Art, let me know, Art Mancy, if you wanted me to pull a card for you. You didn't, I don't think you asked for a card. I'm not sure. Oh, you did. May I have a career guidance one card reading? Okay, I'll pull a card for you next, Art. Sorry, I didn't see that. Okay, MSNN. I am trying to make a midlife career change, but worry that I am making a mistake leaving my serious work, something I have done for more than 20 years, for more creative and fulfilling work. Okay. Let's see what the cards have to say on this. Five of Pentacles. Okay, I feel like this Five of Pentacles is kind of your fear. Five of Pentacles is a card of lack, and there might be this new career that you're wanting, which is more creatively fulfilling. It may not be as stable as your old job. And so these fears of lack, fears of maybe not enough money or not being supported may be coming up for you. I think it's important for you, if you want to do this change, that you do have support, that you not just monetary support, but make sure that you have, either a nest egg, or maybe you have a partner who has a stable income. You want to make sure that you have some kind of safety net there while you make this shift. But more than anything, I feel like this is also about having emotional support as well. And I say that because I noticed the two people leaning on each other in this card. And I think that having support and encouragement as you make this shift is going to be really important for you. So that's the thing that's going to help you. But I want to see what the cards have to say about you doing this. Like, is this a good move, a bad move? What should you be considering? Three of Wands. I feel like everyone's going to get this card eventually. Okay, this is the fourth time this has come up. This is weird. I've never had a card come up this many times before. So we should all be paying attention to the Three of Wands, I think. Okay, I feel like subconsciously you have been trying to manifest this new career for quite some time. And I think that now is the time that you're going to start to see more tangible opportunities and moments to make that move. Because I think that for a long time, you maybe have been waiting for the right time to do something new, and it just hasn't felt right. And now it's starting to feel like, there's a crack in the door and you want to kind of go through it. So that's what I'm getting with the Three of Wands. It does feel like this is something that you've been manifesting for a while. This isn't something that you've just had the idea of last week. So that's kind of neat. I'm just going to reread your question to see. Oh yeah, you worry that you're making a mistake by leaving behind your serious work. Well, the Five of Pentacles, which I think I put back in the deck, I don't know what I did with it. The Five of Pentacles says your biggest concern, I think, is financial stability. And that's a very real thing to worry about. I don't want to make light of that. But know that I feel like you have been planning this on a spiritual level, an energetic level, a mental level for quite some time. I don't think that this is an idea that you've just come up with, last week or last month or even last year. So yeah, I think that before making the move, though, just make sure that you have some support in place. Yeah, and good luck. It's always exciting to move into more creative and fulfilling work. I feel excited for you. Okay, so Art, yeah, the Three of Wands is trolling us. Absolutely. Okay, MSN, you said, I've been working towards this for years. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. It does feel like you're approaching the right time to kind of make that shift. At least that's what I get from the Three of Wands. Okay, so I'm going to pull a card for Art. May I have a career guidance one card reading? Okay, I'm going to really give my deck a shuffle just so that the Three of Wands doesn't appear a fifth time. That would be weird if it appeared a fifth time. right. So Art, the card for you is Nine of Swords. All right. Career guidance, Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords, and I guess I should show it a little more, a little more clearly. So Nine of Swords, it's actually a beautiful card, but it's one of those challenge cards. And the Nine of Swords is about feeling anxious and really overthinking things, letting your mind spin its stories and really kind of torturing yourself by overthinking things and kind of going down a little bit of an anxiety spiral. So I'm not sure how this relates to career guidance. The Nine of Swords is saying you might be kind of overthinking things a little bit. You might be overthinking things. You might be, I don't know if you're prone to kind of going into like worst case scenario, that kind of stuff. But I feel like there's something career wise that's stressing you out. Now, your question was very general, may I just have career guidance? There's something that's stressing you out. So I'm going to draw another card. It's funny. Normally I just do one card readings, but today, for some reason, I've just wanted to draw two cards for most people. So the other card for you for career guidance is the Hierophant. Okay. I'll show it a little closer too. So the Hierophant, and I don't know how this relates either, but I'll just start talking. The Hierophant is about like power structures. It's kind of a top down kind of sort of power structure. To me, I think of like institutions following the rules, having like a really clear path laid out in front of you. I'm wondering if you're feeling like you don't want to follow the rules right now, if you don't want to follow this clear path, you're wanting to kind of shake things up and maybe question authority. I don't know. So maybe you could clarify. And I don't always like to ask questions like this, but I kind of want a little clarification. Are these cards making sense so far, Art, or not? I'd love to get your take. Okay, you said I got that card last night, so I don't know if it's Nine of Swords, probably. Okay, so Art, you said, I'm trying to do tarot and people are a lot. Oh, okay, so is the career guidance that you're wanting to do with being a tarot reader? I'm doing everything different in my tarot career. Okay. All right. Okay, that's good. Thank you. That's helpful. So you're just finding people are a lot. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to read this card a little bit differently with the Hierophant. So the first thing I said resonated with you. Okay, that's good. But the Hierophant, if you're having trouble with your tarot career, the Hierophant is actually about like following the beauty of the Hierophant, the part that I like, because there's lots I don't like about the Hierophant. I think of like organized religion or like corporate entities, working in corporate culture where there's like all these rules and everyone has these prescribed roles and you've got to follow along. But the beauty of the Hierophant is that it gives you a template for how to do something. So this is like what I love about taking a course from someone is there is like this structure that you follow. And that structure it provides a sense of containment. So this might be something for you to try in your tarot business. Do you have a set structure, or think of it as like a ritual? Do you have like a way of doing your readings? Like when I do my readings, I have this kind of a ritual. I start by saging myself, and then I say this little prayer, and then I choose this. I do a specific spread, and then I start by doing this card and that card, and I have like a process to it. There's a system. There's like a template kind of that I follow, and I feel like that really holds the space for the reading, and it provides a sense of stability and containment for things to unfold. So if you're struggling and if you're finding people are just a lot right now, having some kind of a plan in place for dealing with that and being prepared, having like a procedure, having like um, a plan in place. Like think of like corporations. They have all these rules and procedures and mission statements and guidelines that might actually be helpful for you as a tarot reader. So when someone comes to you and I don't know, they ask some horrible question you don't want to answer, or they break down crying and they're super emotional, or they're just super demanding and unreasonable. Like, kind of just thinking ahead of all the things that have happened to you so far in your business and having a plan in place for how you're going to deal with that. I think that's going to give you a sense of confidence in your work. I think that's going to be helpful. So, hopefully, that made sense, Art. Thank you so much for your question. All right. Okay. Okay, Tammy. Hey, Tammy. Welcome. So good to see you here. So you'd love a card if I have a time, general reading, something I really need to know. Okay. Lots of people asking career and work related questions. I think that's interesting. Now, for the reading for August, we got a lot of wands, and something I didn't say about that is that wands, I always associate wands with career, work, and like your work in the world. So I think that's interesting that so far a lot of questions about work. I think last time I did a live, I think it was like relationships were the big one. And this time it's work and career. Okay, so Tammy, I'm going to draw a card for you. Okay, what does Tammy need to know right now? King of Swords. All right. So, King of Swords, he's not that much fun. He's kind of serious. And he's holding his sword like upright. He's very straight. He's straight edged. He's a little square. He's a straight shooter. And what I'm getting from this card, and this is something that you need to know. So I tend to not love the King of Swords because he's not a lot of fun, but he has some really lovely qualities. So he's he's immune to seduction. He's immune to like, how some people look at things through rose-colored lenses and they see what they want to see, not how things are. King of Swords is really good at looking at a situation, looking at life, looking at people that he knows and meets, and seeing things as they are, not how he wants to see them. Because how he wants to see things is as they are. He doesn't have this idea in his head like, I want to see things this way or I want things to be that way. He interacts with reality and he just wants to be able to experience things as they are. He doesn't want to be awash with illusions. And most of us do. I admit I'm like this. Most of us, we're idealistic, we're optimistic, we want to see the good in things. We want to be seduced. We want to be taken on a journey through life. King of Swords doesn't give a shit about any of that. He just wants to see things as they are. And that sword is powerful. And that sword cuts through illusions. It cuts through all the bullshit to just get to the heart of the matter and see things clearly with clarity. Yeah, so that's that's what you really need to know. So I don't know how that relates to your life, Tammy, but hopefully that made sense. Hopefully that was helpful. Okay. Mariette, I would like a card about next Monday. I need to make a hard choice. Okay, let's see what the tarot has to say to you about this. Okay. So you got Queen of Swords. So this is cool that we just had the King of Swords. Now I get to talk about the Queen of Swords. She's actually much more fun. Like, look at all those butterflies. This reminds me of a place that I used to go to as a kid called Butterfly World, and I don't think it exists anymore. But it was this big, huge, like conservatory, and they just had all these butterflies, and you go in there, and it was just magical. I loved it. Okay, so Queen of Swords. All right, this is sort of advice, encouragement for next Monday. Queen of Swords. I love this card for you. The Queen of Swords knows how to communicate clearly and directly. She doesn't sugarcoat, she doesn't beat around the bush. The time has come, I think, for you to speak your truth. I think of like the throat chakra and being able to express yourself fully and really speak your truth. Maybe in the past, you felt this need to protect others and sugarcoat things and not speak up for yourself. Queen of Swords is saying now is the time for you to speak up and speak your truth. She's also holding that sword straight up, just like the King of Swords in the last card. And again, that sword is a symbol for she can cut through the illusions to get to what's important. She kind of cuts away distractions and things that, might distract her and kind of get in the way. And she's able to just look at a situation clearly. The Queen of Swords is also not afraid to cut cords and cut ties if something is dragging her down or it isn't working. Um, she's very assertive. Some people may say she's kind of really blunt and seems a little bit cold. And she does kind of come across that way a little bit. Um, but yeah, the biggest piece of advice I get for you, Mariette, with the Queen of Swords is now it is the time for you to really speak your truth. And I feel like this card goes well with the card that I pulled for the general reading, which was the Seven of Wands. And I talked about advocating for yourself, standing up for yourself, standing your ground. And I feel like this card kind of has a similar message. So hopefully that resonates. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Let's see. Okay, there's a couple questions. Lots here. Okay. What is your favorite topic to read on? I love questions about like spiritual growth and consciousness, connection with guides, living your life's purpose. Those kinds of topics I really like. Okay, Dawn. What do I need to know that will help me move forward? Okay. I'm gonna give my deck a really good shuffle here. Okay, Dawn. So the card for you, what you need to know that will help you move forward. Nine of Wands. Okay, so this is the second time this card has come up. So Nine of Wands, in this particular version of the Nine of Wands, this is really about, it is about moving forward despite obstacles. It's about not letting those obstacles, the self-doubts, not letting those things slow you down, to move forward despite those things. Sometimes I think we want to move forward, but then we're like, oh no, but what about this? I got to fix this first, and then I can move forward. Nine of Wands is saying, no, 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 you can move forward anyway. Things don't have to be perfect before you move forward. Um, but again, like this card is also about healing. Some sort of wound, something that is wanting to be healed. And that is the thing that will probably help you move forward. And it's not like you have to heal this thing and then you can move forward. You can do both of those things simultaneously. But healing this thing will give you the confidence and the self assuredness to help you move forward more quickly. Um, so, a question that you can ask yourself here, when it comes to moving forward, and I'm assuming that when you talk about moving forward, it's to do with like a specific thing, a specific area. Um, what are the wounds, or trying to think of another word other than wound, but for some reason I can't think of one. So like what are the wounds associated with that area of your life where you're trying to move forward? Is there anything that needs some healing? And keep in mind, this could be minor. This doesn't have to be like a major thing that needs healing. It could be something of a more minor nature. But what is it that may need some healing and some special love and care and attention in this area? And again, I think of like self care. Like, how can you bring in some self care and some self soothing as it relates to this area that you want to move forward in? That's going to help you, I think. All right. Okay, Maria, I would like to know, how can I get unstuck with my career? I'm currently trying to start a business by myself, and I got to a point where I do not believe in myself anymore. What's going on? Okay. Let's go to the cards. Okay, what is going on here? How can you get unstuck? Okay, I'm going to start by just asking what's going on. Nine of Wands. Oh, it's like the third time this has come up. I did shuffle the cards. You guys saw me shuffle. Okay, Nine of Wands. What's going on? Okay. Yeah. So I think that there's some self-doubt here, and there's something from the past that is causing you to doubt yourself now. Like there's something, again, that needs to be healed. There's something that maybe didn't work out in the past, that was disappointing, that was upsetting. And it's coming up for you here. And it's coming up because it wants to be healed. And there's something about starting this new business, trying to make things happen, that has stirred up all this stuff. So this may even be something way from the past that you thought was over, you thought you kind of buried it, but now it's being churned up and it's wanting to be healed. So I feel like that is kind of what's going on. But then your other question was like, how can I get unstuck? Okay. And so part of getting unstuck with your career is asking yourself, is there something that needs to be healed? Is there something, and keep in mind, it could be something that's like unrelated to career, but it's showing up with your career stuff, if that makes sense. So that's part of getting unstuck. But let's draw another card. We have Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is an interesting card to get here because it's about being in the flow. And so when you talk about getting unstuck, part of that is like getting into the flow, getting into like a flow state. When you're in a state of flow, you are totally unstuck because you're moving, right? You're in a flow state. And when you're in a flow state, you have the right ideas at the right time, you meet the right people at the right time, the right opportunities come to you. You always have enough energy to do what you need to do. And your actions and your work are inspiring and they give you energy. And so that it's like this feedback loop. And look at the infinity symbol here. The infinity symbol goes around and around and around. It doesn't go around and then stops and gets stuck. It's always flowing, it's always moving because it's a self sustaining system. And so when you get stuck, like you're saying right now with business, with this business you're trying to get off the ground, you feel stuck. There's something about your process that isn't self sustaining. It's draining and it needs to be self sustaining. And I find this myself in my own business. There are times when it's like a nice flow. It's like the work I'm doing is inspiring, I'm making money, I'm getting energy from the things I'm putting out there. I feel like it's all working and there's this nice flow. And then there's a moment where it gets stuck, where I just don't feel inspired, or I just feel like I'm putting things out there and not getting much back, and my work is more draining. And so that means there's something that needs to shift. It's not sustaining. There's something that's not being sustained. So looking at this business and thinking, what aspects are draining me? Which ones are feeding me? And I know this is hard if it's a new business, I think. Um, because often if you're starting a new business, it can all be kind of draining sometimes. But that's just a few, those are just a few little seeds, things to kind of think on. I don't know if I really answered your question in a clear way, but that's what I'm getting from the cards. So I'm gonna leave you with that. And I just want to say thank you, Maria, for letting me pull a couple cards for you. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to do this one for Greta Aurora. I have just started my tarot reading career last year and haven't seen much growth in it. So I would like a guidance card for it, please. Okay. Okay, Greta. So the card that you need to see here is, ooh, King of Pentacles. Okay, so King of Pentacles, he's giving you some advice on business, because the King of Pentacles, he is the ultimate businessman. He knows how to start a business, how to run a business, how to create a thriving, sustainable business. And he has some tips. He has some advice for you on what you need to do and what you're doing wrong. Okay, so number one thing he says is that your business should be enjoyable. It should feel enjoyable. Now, not every aspect of running a business is going to be fun and is going to be enjoyable, but certain aspects should be. So that's the one thing, is if you're having fun, and look at him, he's like laughing up a storm. He's really enjoying himself. He's not taking life too seriously. Even though he's really successful and good at what he does, he takes time out for leisure. So these are just a few suggestions. So, and I know you said like you haven't seen much growth, so you might not be super busy, but make sure you take time out for leisure time so that you're not always working and always thinking about work and thinking how am I going to make money, because that can be really exhausting. So making sure that you have good boundaries with your time and your energy. The other thing is, how can you have more fun with this work? Maybe you are like, the way that you're doing your readings and the way you're operating, how much fun is it for you? How can you have more fun? How can you kind of tweak things or change things so it feels more enjoyable and more fun? And the King of Pentacles, he's also good at like, he knows how to take care of the basic stuff to get a business up and running, but he's really good at automating it and getting it set up so that it kind of runs itself. So that's another thing, is is there a way for you, because he's kind of late, he's a little bit lazy, he's hardworking, but he also has a lazy side. So so that's something to keep in mind, is like, how easy is your business? Have you automated things to a certain extent? Or is everything really difficult and does everything take a lot of time? So, automation, automating certain things, having like a system that works, like having, like, if you're a tarot reader, having a good like booking system, that flows smoothly. Um, Yeah, with the King of Pentacles, I feel like there's potential for you. So I feel like this card is really encouraging you. It's saying, keep it up. There may just be a few tweaks you need to make, but ultimately, your business does have potential. King of Pentacles is a really nice card to get there. So hopefully that resonated. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do a reading for Rebecca. What does my higher self want me to know? Okay. Okay, Rebecca, your higher self wants you to know 10 of Pentacles. Okay, so 10 of Pentacles is a lovely card. It has to do with, okay, I think of like generations and different generations and like leaving a legacy and inheriting a legacy. And so, what does your higher self want you to know? So there's certain things that you have inherited, certain traits, certain habits, certain challenges, um, that you've kind of inherited in your family and that you're working on. And it's almost like with generations, like passing a baton. And it's like, if your ancestors didn't figure a certain thing out or find healing in a certain place, it gets passed down to you, and now it's your role. You have that task to, and I keep using that word healing a lot in with these cards, but that's what I'm getting. That's kind of the theme that's coming up. And so that is one piece of this message that your higher self wants you to know, is this idea of legacy and being kind of given a task to complete in this lifetime, a challenge, not a task, it's like a challenge. Um, and then also the 10 of Pentacles asks you, what kind of a legacy do you want to lead or leave behind? What kind of a legacy are you building or creating? But I also get this like chill vibe with this card. And I'll show it to you again, because there's the two people having wine, there's the two kids playing, and there's the guy in the background. He's enjoying his solitude and he's kind of people watching. And your higher self is telling you that there is a lot of value in doing these three things. So, being like the guy in the background, where you go somewhere, maybe a cafe or something like that, and you're able to just be alone and be content being by yourself and observing others, and just being an observer and watching everything around you. This is really an important thing to do. And this is a metaphor, because this is like what meditation is, right? When you go inward and you're just an observer and you're just watching without judgment. And then being like the two adults at the table drinking their wine. So again, there's so much value and purpose in actually just relaxing and enjoying life, not always being tied to an agenda, right? 10 of Pentacles, the kids at the bottom of this card, they're playing some kind of game. There is so much value in play and being able to just play and be playful. So these three things I think are important. And that's what your higher self wants you to know. So thank you, Rebecca. Hopefully that resonated. Um, Teresa. Oh, good. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. Okay. Okay. So again, I just want to let people know I am offering private readings. So if you want a private reading, I'm going to put the link in the comments if you're interested. Yeah, so I'm offering private readings just for 7 days. So I'll keep it open for the next week, and then I'll close it down on Friday. So if you want a private reading with me, reach out. It's not a live reading, so I do distance readings. It's recorded. I record it. You get an audio file, 30 minutes, 9 cards. I explain it all if you go to my site there with the link that I posted. It's all explained there. So if you're interested and you want to find out more, you can check it out. Okay. Let's see. I'm just going to scroll up. Okay. Nettie P. Are you still here, Nettie P? I want to pull a card for you, but I want to make sure you're still here. Because I feel like sometimes will scroll way up and I'll do a reading for someone. I'm like, I don't even know if they're still watching because time has passed since they've commented. So Nettie P, let me know if you're still here. And if you're still here, I'll pull a card for you. You're here. Yay. Okay. Okay. I'm going to pull a card for you. Three of Pentacles. All right. So 3 of Pentacles. And I should say for those of you who've joined late, I'm using Cosmic Wisdom Tarot for these readings. So 3 of Pentacles for you, Nettie. Okay. Collaboration. This is the key word with the 3 of Pentacles is collaboration. If you're used to always trying to do things all by yourself, now is the time to challenge yourself to collaborate with others. So I think that your true genius and creativity can really come out when you work with others and when you share some kind of project, when you share responsibility. Magic really happens when you collaborate with others. That's what I'm getting from the 3 of Pentacles. So either working on some kind of project with other people or something. I also get the feeling like 3 of Pentacles, this is a card of really engaging in the kind of work that you're meant to be doing, the kind of work that is your life's purpose. And it's the kind of stuff, it's the kind of work where when you're doing it, time just stands still and you can finally get out of your head. So you're not thinking. You're just in the moment. Time flies by. It's almost like you're able to access a deeper, more magical part of yourself when you do this type of work. So 3 of Pentacles, it's encouraging you to collaborate with others, but also to make the time for doing the activities and the work that you love and that you feel really passionate about. Okay, Monty. Can I get a card? Yes. Okay, so Monty M, you got the Hermit. I love the Hermit. I love seeing this card here. So the Hermit is a major arcana card. Now, we have not had many major arcana cards so far. I'm starting to think we've only had 1 or 2 so far. So the Hermit is all about carving out some alone time. Now, your alone time is sacred time. And the Hermit is saying you need to prioritize your relationship with yourself. This is all about taking time to connect with yourself, to move inward. You have this part of you inside of you that is very wise. We all do. Everyone does. Everyone watching has this inner guru, or there's an inner wise person. And the hermit is really encouraging you to make contact with that inner wisdom and make this a priority. So carving out some time, we're getting into the weekend, so making time maybe on the weekend, if that resonates, to connect with this part of yourself, to go inward. So whether that's through meditation, or maybe there's lots of activities that to me feel like meditation, like painting or walking or swimming. Um, Everyone's different in what they find meditative, but the hermit is telling you to really prioritize your alone time, and to really get comfortable, like not get comfortable, but to enjoy being alone, not lonely. So being able to be alone and not feel lonely, because you always have your deeper self, your inner wisdom as company. And so it makes me think, like, the hermit makes me think of meditation, exploring consciousness. I feel like you're at a point in your life where you're really ready to dive in and explore consciousness through meditation, through other means. But that's what's really standing out right now. Okay. Thank you, Monty, for letting me read for you. Okay. I'm going to draw a card. Is True Self Chat still here? Because you asked, I would love to know if I'll reach my goals, please. But you asked that 6 minutes ago. So I want to make sure you're still here before I draw a card. So just leave me a comment if you're still here, True Self Chat, and I will pull a card for you. I'm just going to have some water and shuffle my deck. Okay, True Self Chat hasn't responded, so I'm going to assume they may not be here. Lizzie, I'm going to draw a card for you. Okay, Lizzie. So the card I got for you is Ten of Cups. This is the happily ever after card. This is the card of dreams coming true. There we go. I love the Ten of Cups. This is a beautiful, beautiful card. It's a card of emotional fulfillment, like feeling like your heart is full, feeling a sense of pure love and bliss and connection with yourself, with others, with the world, with nature, with animals, all of that. It's saying, don't be afraid to dream. Don't be afraid to dream big, and just mean that you have to fulfill it. I think sometimes, and maybe I'm just talking about myself, but sometimes I stop myself from dreaming big because I don't want to put pressure on myself. But what I get from the 10 of Cups is when you allow yourself to dream in this like unfettered way, where you just allow your imagination to go wild, allow your true heart's desires to blossom in your fantasies and everything, and just really dream big. There's something liberating in that. And you don't have to make those dreams come true. But the first step is to be able to dream something. You can't ever make something happen if you can't imagine it, right? So, 10 of Cups is saying, let your imagination run wild and prioritize your heart's desires, prioritize emotional fulfillment. So, when I say dream big, this isn't actually about, oh, I want a big, huge house and I want like a fancy car and stuff like that. This is about like what, like on an emotional fulfillment level, what do you really want? Like what would like make your heart full? Um, that's what I get with the 10 of Cups. So prioritize dreaming this weekend. Okay, true self chat, you're here. Yay. Okay. I'm gonna pull a card for you. Now I think you asked a question. Let me just scroll up. Here we go. Okay. I would love to know if I'll reach my goals. Okay. Okay. Will true self chat reach their goals? The Chariot. Yes, you will. The Chariot is, I think of this card as kind of a goal card, and it's a yes card. If I ask a yes or no question and I get the Chariot, I feel like it's always a yes. The Chariot is all about moving forward, moving onward and upward, succeeding with what you set out to do. Yeah. Yes, you will. You will reach your goals. The Chariot is and I'm just going to kind of go off on a little bit of a tangent because this is what I find so fascinating with the Chariot. The Chariot tells us that when it comes to setting goals and having intentions and working towards something and trying to manifest something, there's always kind of two parts. So we have the white horse and we have the black horse here. Notice that it's the dark horse that is leading the charge. The white horse is following. And these two horses symbolize the two parts of ourselves or the two parts of our mind. So the white horse is the conscious part, what you're aware of. The dark horse is what you're not so aware of. So what is a little bit hidden, what is kind of in the shadow. So this is your subconscious, your unconscious. And whenever I've read anything about the unconscious mind and the subconscious, how it's been described, which I think is so interesting, is that the unconscious part of your mind is huge, what you're not aware of, like it's big, and then the conscious part is like imagine a huge mountain, and like most of that mountain is submerged under the ocean, but there's like the tiny top is like poking out. That's like your conscious self, and the rest is like the unconscious. And so when it comes to making decisions, making things happen, achieving goals, it's often the unconscious part of us that actually has a lot of power. And so this is why when we set out to do something and we say, I want to do this, and then we notice, oh my God, I'm sabotaging myself at every turn. It's because the subconscious part of you has a different agenda, has a different plan. And so this is just something to keep in mind, not just for you, True Self Chat, but for everyone watching, is that whenever we set a goal, whenever we're trying to do something, our subconscious and unconscious has to kind of be in agreement in order for that thing to really happen, which is tricky because how do you get to know the unconscious? How do you start to get to become how do you get your unconscious and hidden part of your psyche on board with things? It's tricky. I don't know the answer, but there's different ways to explore this part of yourself through meditation, through hypnosis, through dream work. There's actually many different ways to explore the unconscious, through artwork, automatic writing. Those are just a few ideas that pop into my head. But yeah, super interesting card. Thank you so much for your question. All right. Okay, I'm going to scroll up. And let me know, like, if you're here live and you already asked for a reading and I haven't given you one, feel free to ask again, because then I know that you're here live. Oh, there's a whole bunch of questions here that I didn't see. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay, Steve. A card for the next few weeks. All right. Okay, Steve. Three of Wands. So this is the fifth time this card has come up. This card loves showing up today. So Three of Wands as a card for the next few weeks. These next few weeks, it's like you're watching your ships come in. So if there's something you've been wanting to manifest, something you wanted to make happen, something you're trying to make happen, you're going to start to see the results of that over the next few weeks. I also feel like there's almost a sense of like discovery and adventure here. And you might even be meeting up with people over the next few weeks that you haven't seen in a while. Yeah, so you might be meeting up with people that you haven't seen in a long time. And there is this energy of like looking out onto the horizon and watching your ships come in. Looking out to seeing what's on the horizon. It feels positive. It feels good. I feel like this is the fifth time I've looked at this card. I don't know what else to add. I feel like I've read this card in all possible angles today. And so I don't know if I can add anything more. Yeah. So I don't know if that's helpful or not, Steve, but thank you so much for your question. Yeah, I think that if there's anything that you're wanting to have happen or you've been trying to make happen, you may start to see a little bit of success over the next few weeks with that. Okay. I like this question. I'm at a point where I'm expanding my business and just exited a romantic relationship. I want to see if Spirit has something to say that I may have glanced over. Okay. Okay, Meta. So the card you got here is Nine of Wands. I think this is the third, maybe the fourth time this card has come up. So one thing I'm going to say before I talk about this card, something I should have mentioned earlier. If you're watching, if you're here live, or even if you end up watching the replay later on, are you a subscriber? Do you subscribe to my channel yet? I would love it if you subscribe to my channel. And if you turned on notifications. If you turn on notifications, I sometimes post like new spreads that I create. I post little reminders when I have live events coming up, or if I'm doing like a course or something like that. So if you're subscribed to me, but you haven't clicked the notification bell, click the notification bell if you want notifications. And I'd love it if everyone here gave me a subscribe. That would be so awesome. Okay. So Nine of Wands. All right. So your question was, does Spirit have something to say that I may have glanced over? I feel like this is just a card of encouragement. It's saying, despite setbacks, despite difficulties, that doesn't stop you. You don't shy away from a challenge. You don't shy away from moving forward despite your misgivings, despite having a bit of self-doubt here and there. You trudge on, you keep going. you keep moving forward. The Nine of Wands is saying to you, you've been through a lot right now. So you're expanding your business, which is great. You've just exited a romantic relationship. So these are two major things. You may start to feel a little exhausted. So the Nine of Wands may be telling you, take a little bit of a break, give yourself a little bit of nurturing, take care of yourself. You may have a tendency when you're struggling with something, like maybe the relationship stuff, you may have a tendency to really throw yourself into work, to keep busy and to take your mind off it, rather than looking at those wounds and the pain and the difficulty. You may have this tendency to want to just keep moving, keep working. And the Nine of Wands is saying it's important for you to address the pain and the wounds and the suffering as it comes up. Don't just slap a bandage on it and keep trucking. Take care of yourself. you may need to slow down a little bit at some point. So that's the kind of overall message that the cards have for you. Hi, Greg. How's it going? Welcome. Kyle, you said you have been subscribed for a while. Oh, thanks, Kyle. Thank you so much. Do I read reverse cards? No, I don't. Maybe I should. You know what? Maybe I should do that now. Maybe I should reverse part of the deck. Let's do that. I don't usually read reversals, so let's choose some cards to be reversed. Okay, I'm going to flip these upside down. I'm going to shuffle them in. This is really a big step for me because I don't normally read reversals. So it'll be interesting to see how many reversals show up. Yeah, so Jamie, you said it's interesting that there haven't been any reversals. That's because I shuffle my cards in a way so there isn't, but I just mixing it up a bit just to throw in some reversals, just to prove to you that I can read reversals. Just to prove that I can, but I choose not to. Okay. So Kyle, did you want a reading? I think you asked for one. Okay, I'm going to put you on the screen. Just because you said you're a subscriber, I thought, aha, I need to give this person a reading. Okay, I'll draw a card for you, Kyle. So the card you got is the Hanged One. Another major arcana card. Okay, so I think of this card as a really powerful spiritual card. The Hanged One definitely has like a spiritual message. What is that message? When the Hanged One comes up, it's saying if you're getting frustrated, if you're feeling in any way like you're stuck or your efforts and your actions aren't really getting you anywhere, it can be time to move inward. And even if you're not feeling stuck, the message of the Hanged One is saying there's a lot of power in moving inward and noticing, paying attention to your inner realms. So your inner realms are like your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, your perspective, your energy, the things that you're focused on. All of these things are so powerful. And so if you're trying to make something happen or you're trying to move forward and your actions are getting you nowhere and you feel like you're just running up against a brick wall, start changing your inner scenery. Start changing your thoughts. Start shifting your focus so you're focused on different things. See if you can shift your perspective a little bit and reframe certain things and look at things through a different lens. And start to notice that when you start to do this, your outer world starts to change. So when you rearrange your inner world, your outer world at some point will catch up. Not immediately, not right away, but eventually it will catch up. So that's the message I get with the Hanged One. I also feel like the message is saying it's time to kind of get rooted and grounded and just calm down. Just stay in one place for a minute, calm down. You don't always have to be moving forward. There's something that I call or I should say, you don't always have to be moving forward in an obvious way that's obvious to others. There's something that I call the horizontal path and the vertical path. The Hanged One is all about the vertical path. So the horizontal path is like you're going through life and you're like, you have a birthday, you get a job, you get married, you make some money, you do this, you do that. Like you're going along, you're doing all these different things, you're having experiences, your life is changing in various ways. And that's the part that like when other people look at your life, they see that. They see, okay, you're doing this, you're doing that, blah, blah, blah. You've achieved this, you failed here, etc. But then there's like the inner dimension, the vertical dimension, which is more about like ascension and consciousness and like moving up that ladder of consciousness and reaching like a higher state or higher perspective. And that's not obvious to other people, really, like what's going on within you. And I think we have to kind of balance those two paths, right? Like there'll be times when you're more focused on that horizontal path and times where you're more on that vertical path. The Hanged One is about being on the vertical path and giving attention to your inner realm and developing your consciousness. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully that didn't sound too nutty. Okay. Yeah. So Jamie, you said even though the card itself isn't reversed, he's upside down. Yeah. Okay. Does anyone want a reading here? Anyone watching? There's 34 of you. Welcome. For those of you who are just joining, welcome. Let me know if you want me to draw a card. I can't believe I'm not tired yet. I've been going for an hour and 45 minutes and I've still got energy to burn. All right. Okay. Dahia, I think I'm saying that right. He said, may I get one card for me and my boyfriend? No contact, please. Okay, what does no contact mean? I need to know this. Do you mean you don't have contact with your boyfriend? Is that what you're saying? He's gone no contact? That's how I'm reading it. So maybe if you just want to confirm before I draw a card for you. Oh, so Greg, you said you're in Northern Ontario and you gave 2 successful lakeside readings yesterday. You want a one-card booster reading. Okay, I will give you a reading next, Greg. So stay tuned. I'll draw a card for you. Okay, so Dahia, you said we are not talking. He is gone. Okay, so it sounds like maybe you've broken up or maybe you haven't officially broken up, but he's gone no contact. You're not talking. You'd like a card to see what the tarot has to say about this. Okay. All right. So the card you got is 3 of Wands. Okay, this is like number 6 or maybe the 7th time this card has come up for us. So for those of you, I don't know how many people have been here from the beginning. Probably not many of you, but was this the first? Yeah, this was the first card that I drew for the overall energy of August. And then this is like the 6th or 7th time it's come up. So Dahia, 3 of Wands. Okay. This is really challenging. Now my brain is really challenged because I'm like, how do I read this card in the context of like a relationship question? I'm going to draw a second card. And I'm going to read these 2 cards together. So the other card is reversed. Aha. It's 3 of Pentacles reversed. All right. So I'm going to put 3 of Wands to the side. Now it's interesting we have 2 3s. I'm going to put this to the side. I'll read this in a second. I want to talk about the 3 of Pentacles reversed. Now the 3 of Pentacles upright is all about collaboration, community, working together. Reversed, it's not so much the opposite, but there's problems with collaboration, which makes sense because you and your boyfriend, he's got no contact. You haven't been talking. So I feel like this card is just kind of depicting what's kind of going on. 3 of Pentacles. It's almost like a relationship has to be it's a collaboration of sorts. And when that collaboration is just no longer working, if you can't collaborate with that person, that's when that relationship starts to fall apart. So that may be happening, is that there's no collaboration here. It's hard to work together. Now let's talk about the Three of Wands. Now, the threes in general are interesting. So with like Three of Pentacles, Three of Wands, Three of Cups, Three of Swords is kind of the odd one out. But there is this sense of things coming together with the threes. Now, reverse, that's not true. But the Three of Wands, the Three of Wands is, and I don't know if this is going to be helpful for you at all. And I want to be careful because I know you're probably in a tender place right now and you're probably not feeling great. You're probably struggling. So I want to be gentle here. Three of Wands, this is about things, when things happen with the Three of Wands, the things that are happening now are things that there was like, how do I say this? There's like many steps to get to this place. So this doesn't just happen out of the blue. So remember, Three of Wands is about like manifestation. And so the things that are happening now are sometimes a result of your manifestations, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And so certain things have to happen for something to manifest. So a relationship ending, someone going away, there's obviously certain things that have happened that have led to this. But what can you do now? Because I feel like these cards so far aren't really being helpful. I think they're just sort of saying what the situation is. And I think you're wondering, what do I do here? So the next card is, Ace of Swords. Okay, nice. I don't think we've had any aces yet, which is weird. Okay, Ace of Swords. I love this card. Okay, Ace of Swords, it's definitely a card of taking action in some way. But I also see Ace of Swords, like look at that sword being held up. Ace of Swords, you know how to kind of cut through red tape, cut away all the distractions, get to the heart of the matter. I do feel like this is about, I don't normally say Ace of Swords is about like cutting cords, but it's about getting clarity, like suddenly getting clarity. Now it's frustrating if someone goes no contact because if you can't have a conversation about something, it's hard. Sometimes it's difficult to get clarity, but you may have to come to that clarity on your own without, because he doesn't want to participate. That's what the Three of Pentacles reversed is. He doesn't want to collaborate anymore. He doesn't want to participate. And so if you sit around waiting for him to contact you so that you can have a conversation for closure or to understand what happened, you might be waiting a long time. So Ace of Swords is about taking the initiative, taking the power into your own hands, and getting that clarity for yourself as best you can. I'm just looking to see. It also, like whenever an ace comes up in a reading, it signifies a fresh start of sorts. And so it sounds like this relationship has probably kind of ended. I don't know for sure. But the Ace of Swords is about turning over a new leaf, starting something fresh. And the Suit of Swords has to do with communication. So it is associated with communication and maybe even like turning over a new leaf when it comes to communication and how you communicate. Maybe not in this relationship if it's not going to work out, but moving forward. I don't know if any of this was helpful for you. So let me know if this made sense. But this is what I'm getting from your three cards. But I do want to point out, like, okay, here's what they look like. And the Ace of Swords was the last one. And I feel like it does kind of represent like a new beginning for you. So it does feel good. Okay, you said, yes, you're on point. He doesn't want to give clarity, does not want to talk to me. Yeah. So this ace, okay, where is it? I put it back in the deck. This Ace of Swords, it really is about getting clarity for yourself. You don't need him for clarity. I feel like this is about kind of moving on. You know, start turning over a new leaf, starting a new phase, moving on, not waiting for him to come around to give you that clarity. If he does come around and reaches out to you to give you clarity, then that's great. But don't feel like you have to wait for that in order to get healing and move forward. So I wish you lots of luck with that. I know that sounds like a difficult um, situation. Okay. And thanks for your question, Dahlia. Oh, thank you, Saul. Thank you so much for your nice compliment. Okay, I'm gonna draw a card for, let's see. Okay. Lots of love questions now. That's so funny because there were so many career questions. Okay, Angela would love a card for how I can move forward with my goals. All right. Oh, wait, I said I was going to read for Greg, right? Sorry, Greg. Okay, I'm going to read for Greg. And Angela, I'm going to read for you next because I totally forgot that I promised Greg. Okay, so Angela, I'll read for you next. And if I forget Angela, remind me. Okay, so Greg, a one card booster reading. Okay. Okay, Greg. Page of Pentacles. This is interesting. I feel like this card, I know I read for you not too long ago. And I don't know if this card came up, but I do remember we talked about planting seeds. And you said this is something you like to do, is just like plant seeds, plant little ideas in people's head rather than try to tell someone what to do or try to change someone. You like to plant seeds. And this shows Page of Pentacles is actually planting seeds as he goes. And so I feel like I feel like this card is kind of affirming that for you and saying that, yeah, your approach to just sort of planting seeds for people is really effective. I also feel like Page of Pentacles, I feel like this also reflects maybe where you're at right now. And the Page of Pentacles is learning how to make something happen, how to grow something. There's something that you're trying to get off the ground, something you're trying to manifest, something you're trying to grow, but you're needing to like learn more about that thing. You're in sort of a learning mode and it feels really fun. It feels really exciting. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm just really like struck by the symbol of him planting the seeds and knowing that we had that conversation about that. Remember you sharing that. I feel like it's just saying you're on the right track. Keep planting those seeds because eventually those seeds can grow into something bigger. Okay, so Angela, thank you for your patience, Angela. I'm sorry I kind of got you excited there and then took your thing off the screen. Okay, so you want a card on how you can move forward with your goals. All right. So the best way for you to move forward, Angela, is the King of Wands. Okay, the King of Wands, he's all about the goals and he's all about the moving forward with the goals. Now, the King of Wands, his secret is that he only pursues goals that he feels passionate about. If you don't feel excited about your goal, like genuinely excited, not just about attaining the goal, but doing the work to achieve the goal, you have to feel excited about that too. You have to feel excited about all of it. So, how you can move forward with your goals, you have to get excited. You have to connect your goals to what you're passionate about. There has to be a good reason. You have to have those goals need to be anchored into your, like, what's important to you, what your values are, what you're excited about. Otherwise, there is no point in pursuing them, and you won't have the energy needed to achieve them. And if for some miracle you get the energy needed to achieve those goals, you're not going to be happy. I think we've all experienced achieving a goal and then being like, oh, I don't know if I wanted that. So, really important. King of Wands is saying this is how you move forward with your goals. You get really clear on what is important to you, what you're passionate about, and that's going to move you forward. All right, thank you for your question. Okay. All right, so I have been at it for 2 hours straight. So I'm going to do one more reading and then I'm going to pack it in because I'm feeling my throat is getting scratchy and I've finished my water. So before I do this last reading, I just want to say thank you so much, everyone, for showing up and being here. I hope you've enjoyed listening to me ramble about tarot cards. It's been fun. And if you want your own personalized reading, I am offering readings right now for a very limited time. So just for the next week, so for the next 7 days, I'm going to put the link, order a reading. I'm going to put the link in the chat. And if you end up watching the replay, I will also put the link, I'll pin it in the comments below, so that it will be easy and accessible for you. So yeah, my readings are 30 minutes long. They're recorded. I use 9 cards. You can ask questions. It's not a live reading. It's a recorded reading, which I think is actually more valuable. And I think that's better in some ways because you can re-listen to it again and again. So yeah, if you want to get a reading with me, I'd love to give you one. And I'm going to do one last reading. And of course, if anyone has any questions for me about learning tarot, doing readings, feel free to ask. I'm always happy to answer those kinds of questions too. All right. And I'm so sorry for those of you who I haven't read for, who've been here. Has anyone been here? Okay, is there anyone here who has been here since I started who wants a reading and I haven't given you a reading? So has anyone been here for 2 hours and hasn't gotten a reading? Let me know in the comments and I will read for you. Because I don't want to give you the cold shoulder. If you've been here this entire time, I don't know if anyone's been here the whole 2 hours. Okay, no comments yet. Oh, a sense. Oh, me. You said you have. Okay. I trust you. And Brittany, you said me. Oh no, everyone's going to say they've been here the whole time. Jamie, you have. Okay. You know what? I'm going to do a fire round. I'm going to see if I can do some readings really quickly. I do tend to ramble with my readings, so I'm going to try to cut the rambling out so that I can give everyone a reading. All right. So a sense. Oh, did you have a question? What do I need to know? Okay, perfect. All right. A sense. Oh, what do you need to know? Ooh, a reversal. Page of Cups reversed. Okay. Page of Cups reversed is saying lately you may have felt a little bit disconnected with your intuition and your creativity. And that's because you're not allowing yourself to be playful. You are taking life too seriously. You're taking things too seriously. You're getting caught up in all the drama and you think it matters. It doesn't. Allow yourself to be more playful. Allow yourself to be curious. Allow yourself to explore rather than figure things out. You don't have to figure things out, but you do need to explore. Once you allow yourself to be playful and explore, It's going to open up a whole world of possibilities. You're going to feel more connected to your intuition. You're going to open up that intuitive flow. You're going to feel creatively inspired, and it will be easier for you to get into a momentum and an inspired flow with your life. So that's what you need to know. Okay. Brittany, Brittany Wynn, do you have a question, Brittany? Oh, yes. Can I get a reading to decipher a message I've been confused about? All right. Okay, a message for Brittany. King of Cups. Okay. I don't know if this is going to help you with this message that you're confused about or not, but I'm just going to go for it. So, King of Cups, and I'm just waiting for my camera to pick it up. Okay, here we go. So the King of Cups is all about emotions and feelings. The king knows how to hold a space for his emotions and feelings and explore them. He knows how to honor his feelings. Now, he doesn't follow his feelings. So this isn't about like always following your feelings or letting your feelings guide the way. It's about listening to your feelings. It's about holding a space for emotions and knowing that your feelings always carry a message. And it's that message that needs to be heard before taking action. That's different than letting your feelings guide you. Your feelings change all the time. They're kind of unpredictable. You actually don't want to let your feelings guide you. You don't want to let them drive the bus. You should be driving the bus, but your feelings always provide useful information. So you need to hold a space for those emotions, those feelings that come up, and listen to them and find the message in them. Ask, what is it you're wanting to tell me? And that's the message of the King of Cups. Okay. Last reading, there was one more person who said they were here the whole time. Yes. Okay, Jamie Fortin. Okay, you said, I feel like I get a message from all your readings. Thank you for your time. Okay, so you don't want me to pull a card. I think that's what you're saying. Okay, so if I'm wrong, if you do want me to pull your card, let me know and I will. But I think that I will close today's reading session by just drawing like a general card for everybody here. A closing message before I sign off. All right. Okay, let me just get my cardigan on here. Okay, so this is what we all need to know, what we all need to kind of like keep in mind as we enter into this new month and as we enter into this weekend. Okay. And the card that we got here, ooh, Queen of Cups, nice. I'm so glad it's a card we haven't gotten yet, right? It's not the Three of Wands again. Okay, so Queen of Cups is what we all need to know. And I just love this. I love this message. So Queen of Cups kind of echoes what I said about the King of Cups previously. The Queen of Cups says that, we need to hold a space for our feelings and emotions and really honor them and honor your intuition as we move into August. And there's also something about, there's a nurturing vibe with the Queen of Cups. Like she's really good at nurturing, holding a space for herself and for others. And she's highly intuitive. And the reason she's intuitive is because she, again, like she knows how to pause and get out of her own way and just hold a space for her intuition to come through. She's not the kind of woman who's rushing around being busy all the time or trying to distract herself. She knows how to just sit and get quiet and allow her intuition, allow her emotions to step forward onto the scene. But ultimately, I feel like this is a card of nurturing. And I feel like the message here is not just about honoring your emotions and your feelings and your intuition, but I think that ultimately it's about nurturing yourself and holding a space for yourself, nurturing yourself. That theme came up a lot, especially with the nine. I think it was the Nine of Wands, that theme of like healing, self care, being kind to yourself. I feel like that is also coming with the Queen of Cups. So yeah, so that's the card that I'm going to end on. So I just want to say thank you so much, everyone, for being here live. I'm sorry I couldn't read for absolutely everyone, but thank you for being here. Again, if you want a private reading, I'm offering them now for a week. I'll put the link below. And I hope that you have a wonderful weekend, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the summer. Oh, and I should say, check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com. Lots of fun tarot learning resources on there for you. So I've got lots of video tutorials, spreads, exercises, tarot card meanings, all kinds of fun stuff for you to check out. Again, I'll put the link below. So thank you for being here and have a wonderful rest of your week.